Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RedSeaPodcast. Welcome back to what's probably gonna be the second of four back-to-back shows, and welcome back to another not as historic as yesterday, but another celebratory show. This time, despite me wearing the opposite jersey for obvious reasons of it being too cold to wear a sleeveless, uh, celebrating Olympiacos VC, celebrating the unstoppable fashion in which they played, and celebrating the incredibly positive feeling that they are exuding along with the wins, along with the passion, along with the chemistry, along with the confidence and everything like that. Before we begin, though, there is a reason I started a tad bit earlier. Of course, stuff with Instagram, I don't want to just explain it every episode. If you don't know what's going on, either go on the socials or go to the previous few episodes in which I explain the situation. Stuff is still at a bit of a stalemate, but as I said last episode, there is an account running, a backup one, and the Instagram link in the description below has been changed to that. And link wise, the links that I mentioned are in the Spotify descriptions as well, just in case you're listening there. But without me wanting to waste any more of your time, let's get into this insane second part of a very celebratory red and white double day, per se. Olympiacos, of course, completely pounced on Barcelona. Olympiacos destroyed Barcelona, even though that's my only complaint from the team, and I'll get it out of the way quickly. Even though we had that third quarter slump in performance again, which made the difference, even a plus 12 was relatively lenient when you think about how Barcelona played and how we played, especially when you look at the scores and see that coming out of the first quarter, starting the game, we finished the first quarter 27-13. So similar to the second quarter of the last game, we played them off the court. We played them out of their comfort zone, out of their ability, and we completely owned the game. Then, of course, coming into the second, stuff evened out a bit, but even then it was 46-37 heading into the second half, yes. And then the third quarter happened, in which, of course, in that third quarter, we finish up trailing 59-64. So you see the problem with that third quarter now. We go from 46-37 to 59-64, trailing by 5. It wasn't costly now either, because ultimately we were the better team. 3 out of the 4 quarters we played Barcelona out the water, and we won the game. Almost just by 2 points, almost getting the difference back as well, even though I doubt it's going to be needed against Barcelona. But just almost getting the difference back as well. But it could have been much more. That's the thing. My whole take on this thing is that yes, the team is playing incredible basketball, but there is that tiny little asterisk that may cost us on one game out of 10. But when the team is playing basketball that seemingly cannot be stopped right now, knock on wood, if we take that slight negative, that slight consistent negative, I'm not talking about human errors and stuff, those are to be expected, but that slight negative that's becoming a bit of a nuisance to the games, if the team works to stay consistent throughout the entire game, then it's done. And of course, ending off the fourth quarter, 87-75, with the fourth quarter being even better than the first, with the quarter score, of course, being 28-11. Now, a general image of the game will show exactly what I said, that Barcelona just didn't show up for most of the game. The only time Barcelona did show up is when we started making errors and making rash decisions. But other than that, Barcelona was just nowhere, absolutely nowhere. Of course, we stood at a 60% from mid-range with 25 out of 42. Another slight negative that I'm not going to focus too much on was our long-range percentage with 7 out of 27. And including that, we did miss a couple of open ones. That's to be noted down, but very lightly, because the 3-pointers that did go in were more than crucial and more than game-winning, which left us at a 46% general field goals. Rebounds, we dominated. Schengelia and Vesely got owned by Nico Milutinov and Tyreek Jones. I think that's the best way to put it. And I feel like yesterday was the first proper example of how scary our front line is. I feel like our front line is even more truly terrifying than we can fathom, because you're standing at the things you did, with Tyreek putting up the performance of a lifetime, and we'll get into his performance very fast, and Milutinov putting up a culminates numbers for his own standards, not even needing to play the majority of the game, with how well Tyreek was doing, and Donta didn't touch the court. Donta didn't even touch the court. Donta Hall, a player that could start undoubtedly for most of the league, didn't touch the court, and we won quite comfortably, to say the least. There is no one that can stop that front line, position to position. And I said before that I thought we had the first and the third best center in the league. I'm starting to very quickly believe that we have the first and the second, complementing each other perfectly. And I feel like even with that, I feel like I'm putting up an understatement with how Tyreek played. But those two complement each other perfectly, and it's a dream of a sight to see. Assist-wise now, stuff was even. Time spent in the lead, of course, another stat that shows how much we dominated truly the game, and how the score perhaps could be even bigger if we didn't have the third quarter, as we spent 31-54, in the lead, leaving just 5:39 for Barcelona with 2 lead changes, and our biggest lead that was sadly not protected enough being 17. An incredible streak. I just saw the comment, that's why I paused a bit. As I say right here, an incredible streak of 5 straight wins now. And going back to the earlier point, the team looks unstoppable. Again, knock on wood. And the team we are seeing now, I can't state that enough. The team we are seeing now isn't even full. It isn't even full. Corey Joseph had his amazing debut, which let me actually get into quickly. If you look at just the stats, if you didn't see the game, of course, it's not as favorable. But I really liked what Corey showed, how Corey played, the mentality, the adapting to the game really fast, because mind you, the man hasn't even touched the European court, and you saw that from the first foul, and he learned his mistake immediately and then drew back and adapted his game around that. The shots he took were very smart. He, of course, had 50% on the free throws and he missed his shots. But as Parjoka said, that's mostly due to conditioning and not the player's ability. Of course, we did talk about Corey Joseph. Perfect shooting is not really what you expect from him, but the shots he took were perfectly selected. And the more he adapts, the more he'll make those. I feel like that goes without saying. His passing was extremely smart, adding to that 2 assists as well. And for a first impression, he played incredibly. The more he adapts, the more he works on conditioning, the better he'll be. And adding to that, you have Montemoris coming back very soon, of course. For those of you that do keep up with Twitter, you would have seen that Monte commented on the incredible atmosphere at CEF, and he said that he can't wait to be back soon. And that leads me to another point. What a damn fan base. I have been screaming about the same thing for the year and a half that this show has been going on. For the year and a half that this show has been going on, almost coming up, the show's 2-year anniversary is in a bit over a month, by the way, which is mind-blowing to me. Something very, very special is going to come for the show's 2-year anniversary. But as I was saying, for the year and a half to year and 11 months that this show has been running, for all the states you've seen me through all of the basketball games, I've said 2 things, but I won't get into the fun rant right now because I actually want to praise the people there. You have the team with the most passionate, the most fierce, and the most effective fan base in Europe, and you strip them of their home field advantage. And now, slowly but surely, you're seeing Steph be safe again. I don't think there's a better way to put it. You're seeing Steph be safe again. You're seeing people be loud constantly. You feel the vibrations of the entire stadium through the goddamn TV. Gets Evans louder than ever, it feels like. And there's mainly 3 people to thank for that. One is Tyreek Jones, who, as I said, doesn't only light up the team, he lights up the fans as well. 2 is Tyson Ward, with his energy and his enjoyment of basketball going through to the fans there as well. And 3 is the man himself, Evan Fournier. The man that sparks fire and the man that speaks when fire is under his feet. Seth is slowly becoming the castle that Olympiacos need to take that leap that their quality already has them deserving. Their quality and hard work, because not everything comes with quality. I feel like that's a given. Not everything comes with quality. But before we get into Tyreek, before we get into anyone else, this man deserves his shout out as always, because he may not have been last night's MVP, but God knows he keeps stepping up. Sasha Vezenkov, even in that third period slump, third quarter slump, he stepped up. He stepped up as needed. He played 34 minutes. He almost pulled another 40. He played 34 minutes. He put up 20 on 50%. He had 11 rebounds, giving him another double-double to his name, with 9 of them being defensive. And he had 2 steals to his name. An amazing performance by Sasha Vezenkov, as usual, lately. And I did post this on my story on Instagram. I don't know if it's still there. It's the whole penguin trend, and it's everyone just looking forward to Sasha Vezenkov just straddling towards the MVP trophy. I've said this many a time. Milu should be in the conversation. Tyler should be in the conversation. There is a lot of people around the league that should be in the conversation. But when it comes to Sasha Vezenkov, on the form of his career, he's the best player in the Euroleague. And second place is not close. He's in a one-horse race towards the MVP right now, and I feel like he'll keep improving. I know he doesn't. I know he couldn't give less of a shit about the MVP trophy, and as he said as well, all he wants is the EuroLeague. But he's in a one-horse race towards the MVP trophy as things stand. Let's get into this, man, because I can't wait to talk about his performance. Oh, ow, wow. I don't think I've ever fallen in love with a player so fast after his debut. I can't recall us having a center like that for a lot of years. A center that can defend like that, a center that picks up his own mistakes, that shows and the athletic force of a freak of goddamn nature. A great Dane at minimum. I don't remember. Someone told me a better dog breed, but I don't remember. He's flawless. He's flawless. And he's flawless not because he doesn't make mistakes. He's flawless because he corrects his own before we can even process that he made a mistake. Blocks that chase down flying block out of nowhere still just replays in my mind. Explosiveness, energy, passion, dunks. That clip with Jan Vesely where Tyreek dunks and just completely clobbers him when he jumps down, and then Vesely turns around, sees that it's Tyreek Jones, and turns back around and walks away. He's terrifying in the best way possible. Putting up 16 in 21 with 5 out of 7 field goals and 6 out of 8 free throws, having 8 rebounds, of course, most of them offensive, which he converted to second chance points, even having 2 assists to his name, having 3 steals, 3 blocks. Of course, another play to recall in his countless highlights is the steal that he pulled off himself as he bolted for a coast-to-coast dunk. The steal that Tyson pulled out and he passed it to him for a dunk. He had a game. He had a game. He was on a game. What a performance from Tyreek Jones. I couldn't agree more. And I'm getting even more and more hype talking about him. But yeah, so I don't spend half the episode talking about Tyreek Jones. Let's move on to the man that has transformed this season, the man that even on his quieter days puts up 17, 4 and 3 in 30. An incredible game, there when needed. Clutch is an understatement for how Tyler Dorsey is playing this season. He's ever so important each and every game. He seemingly will always be at the right place in the right time. And that I don't even know which play to fully recall from him. But the notable play I wanna say from Tyler Dorsey is that 3, that goddamn crossover, step back, fade away, whatever you wanna call 3 at the end that shouldn't go in. But I'm not even the happiest about that play. I'm more happy about his celebration, him running full speed to Barjokas and the hug and the smiles that eventually Evan Fournier himself joined. And speaking of Evan Fournier, talk about a big moment player. A video was posted today about the small details from Evan's game. And I don't think there is a better way to describe him than a big moment player. We're talking about a man that speaks best when the ball is flaming hot. When everyone's playing hot potato, Evan will step up and win you the game. Or Evan will pull out the most unexpected defensive effort you've ever seen and then find a quarterback pass to actually go on and get an assist to his name. 6-4 in 21, but it's ever so important to remember what those 6-4 entailed, right? Urging the team on, being there, showing his leadership, showing his passion, lighting a fire under the team. And more important than anything, being himself, being Evan Fournier. I think amazing. And even when he's not at his best scoring form, he'll always step up. And I spoke about this, and I'll speak about it again. Energizers is a word I've been using lately, is a word I was given lately. And except from Tyreek Jones, there are 3 more people that fully lit a spark, not under the players, not under Pajokas, but the fans as well. And those are Niko Milutinov with his 8-6-1 in 19 with a steal. Tyson Ward with his 8-5-5 with a steal. That formation, steal and assist to the man himself, Derek Jones, and good old aging like fine goddamn wine, Shaq McKissick. And after a long time, we could all scream Shaq attack after his incredible dunk to that, which that alone made Seth just completely explode. With a steal to his name as well. Just strengthening the defensive effort the team had in general. Of course, the main problem with Thomas Walkup and why I'm not mentioning him is because he gathered a lot of fouls very fast. But even with what he did defensively, even with everything, it's unbelievable. The impact that Thomas has even in his worst nights is insane. Let me actually see. I am actually going towards the Panathinaikos game to see how that's going. And it seems like it's 8 points. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, moving forward, the games are going to be weirder and weirder, I feel like. Moving forward, we're going to see a lot of incredible basketball. Moving forward, we're going to see a lot of nerves. Of course, we play Peristeri tomorrow. That's a given. But in the Euroleague right now, I want to see where we stand. We stand second. We stand second with 16-8. Of course, Fener is 17-7. Hapoel was 16-8 as well. Of course, all three of us have a game less. We play Fener and Hapoel that got embarrassed, by the way, are playing Paris. Then it's Valencia, just finishing up the top four with 16-9, along with Real Madrid and Barcelona, with the top six ending with Spanish domination, if anything. And our next game, as I mentioned last time, is against BC Dubai. Dubai, a team unpredictable, but a team that's fallen off, let's be honest. And Dubai, a team that I feel like this team can run through, knock on wood. And of course, it's a double week with us hosting Polonia at home. Another game, which is every game is a must win now, but this is a very possible win if we play our cards right. Because of course, Polonia has been very good. Polonia has had an under the radar season in general for their standards and quality, always. But it's two games where we need to be careful for sure. But it's two games that we can get it done. And then, of course, on the 12th, it's Zvezda, which is going to be a party, but for sure a tough game. This team can give us a lot this season, I feel like. Knock on wood, the squad is looking better than it has a lot of years before. Quality, and quality. That's it from me for today. A good old 30 minutes basketball talk. As I said, I'll see you all tomorrow with Champions League opponent talk, of course, by Leverkusen. I wrote an article yesterday, if you so wish, of course, to go check that out. And a bit more detailed deep dive on our newest winger, Andre Luiz. But as always, thank you all so much for sticking by me through this very confusing, very tough period for the show and supporting me more than ever. We're growing here on YouTube and we're growing fast. And we're growing everywhere fast, and I couldn't be more grateful. So as always, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you.